Welcome back to Lost for Words with Lori. It is October 1st. Can you believe that? My goodness. So happy Saturday. It is Saturday. It is Saturday morning. And boy, I'll tell you, I first want to just add a whole lot of love and hopes and prayers to the people in Florida who have managed to make it through a pretty destructive hurricane. And I know a lot of property and some lives have been lost, but I want to just send my deepest condolences for their rebuild. The tropical storm actually passed through here sometime in the middle of the night. We had a lot of rain and wind, but I live pretty far inland up here in the Carolinas, and we didn't have nothing nearly compared to what other people had to struggle with. Mother Nature, man, she's furious, and she's showing all of her fury. So, first off, if you have the means to help support any of those relief efforts, I would encourage you to pay it forward and do so. But also just to be a positive, shining ray of light for those who've probably suffered quite a bit due to that catastrophe. And it's crazy. So love and hugs and thoughts and all that good stuff to the people who are struggling right now in general. Today is kind of a day of reflection for me. It is the 5-year anniversary of me being in North Carolina, or hurtling towards North Carolina. I packed up all of my shit and I took off and came here to start a new life 5 years ago. And that's a pretty amazing achievement because I had no idea what was going to happen in my life at that time. I just knew that I needed to start over. And I did. I came here with the intentions of starting a new life for myself and making the best of situations because, boy, I'll tell you, my life was a mess back, the old way, so to speak. And I did. I came here and I started over. And, 5 years later, I'm in a situation where I get to start over again. Life has changed infinitely in the last 11 months since I've lost Toby. And, I've got plans, I've got goals, I've got things that I need to do. But, riding that train and navigating that path has been full of a lot of lessons. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who struggle with that very same thing. And I was telling somebody recently that, life is full of highs and lows, ups and downs, the mountain, the peaks and the valleys, right? And navigating those lows in life, in those valleys, is how we learn some of the most valuable lessons. For so many years, it was go, 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 and your schedule's full, and you're doing all of these things. And it's a lot like that fight or flight mode, like you just kind of go through the motions and, basically exist. But the quiet time that I've had and that other people get gives us the ability to digest and feel those emotions and resolve to make more positive changes and go in directions where you weren't really sure what was going to happen anyway. And I kind of am in that mode, as far as this is my life now. And, I have to sit back and feel and digest all of those emotions as they come. And it gives you a lot of resolution to try to make more positive changes. I wasn't expecting this, and I know a lot of people don't expect some of the things that happen when life kicks them and puts them down back at the bottom of the mountain. And we struggle, and life is a struggle, and there's always going to be roadblocks and challenges, no matter what it is that we face. And I'm just like anybody else. I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. I can think about the possibilities or what life was supposed to be like. And I can grieve for that, and I can feel that emotion, and I can feel that pain. But at the end of the day, I can't take it back, and I can't go backwards, and I can't change the past. I can only resolve to try to do the best that I can do to make my life what I want. And I know that sounds, I don't know, kind of defeatist in a way, but at the same time, I got to work as hard as I can to make my goals and my dreams come true. And I know a lot of people struggle with that, especially when you're faced with loss and grief, or some people with pain and physical issues, and some people with mental issues and depression and all of those things. And it's hard. It's hard to be that positive role model, so to speak, or that give those positive affirmations and feedback to people, especially in those moments where you're not, at the top of your peak either, and you're in your own valley. But we try, and we try to look for the rainbow in the storm, or the light at the end of the tunnel, or the silver lining of the cloud, whatever that looks like. And be grateful, and be humble, and be resolute that this is how I feel in this moment. But tomorrow is a new day, and I don't know what it's going to bring. I just know that making change starts within. It starts with me. And all of the external distractions and the things that I find in my first world and in my, virtual world, the things that don't serve me, or the things that make me unhappy, aren't worth my attention anymore. And it's tough. It's tough to try to navigate a path when you're utterly alone, to find positive, healthy distractions and eliminate the negativity that goes with that. And I know everyone struggles with that. I've watched it. I've watched it in real time in my first world and here on the interwebs, of people who struggle with, their own demons, with not knowing what direction their life is going in, feeling trapped or helpless, or just like there is no hope. And it's difficult, even when you're sitting in your own sadness or your own feelings, to try to be objective and give people some positive reinforcement about, be the cheerleader, so to speak, especially when in some situations you don't know what is really going on, or you can't help. I mean, physically you can't help. You can only help by just listening, or just being there, or just letting them know, hey, I care, or I love you, and asking them what you can do to help. And the sad, unfortunate part is some people don't have a clue, or there isn't anything that you can do but to just hold their hand and let them know that they're cared about. And I've been grateful because I have that. I have wonderful humans who support me, who love me, who care about me. And that's a lot of times good enough, to just reach out and give those positive words, or to see that smile, or to, let them know that they're thought about or they're cared about. And it feels good to be acknowledged. It feels good to be, what's the word? Validated. That's the word, validated. And I know a lot of people seek that. They seek that validation. But at the end of the day, the reality and the lesson is that validation comes from you first. And we all struggle with that. The last 5 years have been amazing. An amazing time to rebuild, to grow, to learn new things about myself, to be able to be accountable and apologize for the mistakes that I've made, and to rebuild, and to build a new future. And losing Toby was probably the hardest thing that I've ever had to go through. But almost a year later, I'm still sad and I'm still angry and I still have all of those emotions. But at the same time, I know that I'm going to rebuild. I have no choice. You know, I'm grateful that this has become a home to me, even though it's lonely and cold without him here. But I'm doing the best that I can. You know, I'm trying to make moves in my own life so that I can have a better future for myself, because now it really is just about me and the memories that I have. I was hoping this didn't turn into a boo-hoo, kind of deal, and became more of a positive, encouraging kind of deal, or talk, I guess you should say. But this is how I navigate my highs and my lows. I come here to give a verbal diary of the lessons that I'm learning. It seems to have been centered around a lot of the negative behavior that happens on social media. But it's been part of my learning journey. It's been part of my growing journey, to try to teach other people that they don't have to just accept what they see at face value, and that they're allowed to dig deeper, and figure out what it is that serves them and establish really solid boundaries, because this is the only life we have. And as I've learned firsthand, it can be ripped away from you without a moment's notice. And then what do? I didn't go and start burning the candle at both ends in the normal fight or flight mode that I would have usually done. I stepped back and took the time to digest what was going on in my world. And I'm still doing that. I take the moments when I'm feeling the way I feel now and accept that this is what it is, and I don't have to like it. It sucks. It hurts. It's painful. But I have to make choices too. I can either sit here and do nothing and wallow in that sadness, or I can use that as a tool to figure out what it is that makes me happy. And I still don't know that. I still have not discovered the absolute peak of what I want to do with my world. I'm still learning. I'm still learning about me. I'm still learning about what makes me tick. And some days it's real hard, and some days it's real good. But I'm hoping that by doing all of the documenting that I do, and it works, and journaling and, recording all of these podcasts, that it gives me something to look back on and to see the growth, to see the things that I've done that have made my world and my life better, to become that best version of me that I can. And it's not always going to be rainbows and butterflies. There's going to be moments that are going to hurt. And I'm vulnerable, and being transparent and vulnerable is very scary. It's scary for a lot of people. But at least I know in my heart, and the people who know me best know that it's real, that it's not with a hidden agenda, that it's not intended to manipulate or control or do anything nasty at anybody else's cost, just to, better my situation. It's not malicious in any way, because I would rather help one person get through a bad day than smash everyone to just make myself feel better. And yeah, there are days where I'm really down and I'm hurting and I just want to burn it all down. Everybody has those moments. But talking through them and realizing that there are alternatives, there are options, there are always going to be things that make the struggle worth it. It helps me climb that next mountain to get to the top of that next peak and look over all of the things that life has to offer me, until I'm no longer here. But I've reflected a lot. It's been a tough couple of days for me. And I've been trying to reach out to the people who support me. And I'm grateful for them. And I'm grateful for the memories that I have. And I'm grateful for the things that I've learned. And I look forward to the things that I'll learn going forward. You know, I appreciate that. I appreciate all of the things that people have brought to me, who have talked endlessly about their situations, because it helps me learn more about myself. And I'm just going to keep moving on. I'm going to keep going forward. I'm going to keep making the best of everything that I can, even when it's not so easy. But thank you for everyone who has stood by me. Thank you for being the best versions of yourself, and for learning and growing and evolving with me. I couldn't have done it without you, and I still can't. And I'm still going to continue to grab on to all of the positivity and the goodness and the things that I need. And hopefully people will continue to learn, grow, and evolve and be the best versions of themselves. I'm going to keep on washing my fucking hands. I'm going to keep being a better human, and I hope you will as well. But thanks for listening. I love you all. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you all soon.